do you need removing, boss? Said the Commando Knob of the Tenso today on Ashes of Typhon Redux. Meaning we've got a little bit extra space down the bottom here. It's a pretty big map, actually. And the boys are discussing some Elite League things at the moment. The other boy is going to be Dark Riku here, playing as the Lictor Alpha. So we got a nice Zeno scrap. I do like this matchup. Though it's a little bit tricky for the Orcs early on. Certainly when they get into tier 2 and they get all their shenanigans going with weird boys and all the knobs on the lads, things get a little bit better for them. Very lucky initial special there from the Lictor, disrupting the K-Knob pretty damn well. This Hormagaun's like, fuck you, you're not stunning me. Chopping away at the Commando Knob. Double Termers. This is actually a really good map for the Hormagaunt spam because it's so big. The speed 6.5 for the Hormagaunts and the ability for them to basically 1v1 most of the Orc squads, well not sluggers but certainly shooters. It's pretty damn effective. Oof. Again, a really nice special attack there. Wire is buffing these Hormers and shooters, yeah, they don't do no damage in melee, so a little bit overconfident there from Dark Riku. Underestimating the powers of the shooters in melee, and now the sluggers come charging in. They can't get any specials on the Lictor though. Being a hero, he has more melee skill than them. So that's a problem. They're trying to DPS him down and keep the shooters in play, but man, again, another beautiful special attack there from the Lictor, and Tenso's just going to get out of there. He got the pick on the Homers, so it's fine. Now he's just trying to mitigate bleed. Probably could have stayed in and hunted the Termagants there with the sluggers, to be honest, but he's playing conservatively, and I don't dislike that. Now, he did have to blob all of his forces for that fight, whereas Riku had one of his Termagants off on the side. Obviously, this Termagant's been capping these points. Like I said, this is a big map. That helps the Tyranids, certainly in Tier 1, because the Tyranids, they're the fastest race. They're faster than Eldar. Their Gaunts are incredibly fast. Even the Warriors are speed 5.5, so a little bit faster than average. So generally you'll see a war truck in tier 2 on a map like this because you really need the mobility from that, but you've got the weird boy as well with his warpath. Give that AoE speed boost, can be effective. Good free bleed there for the Commando Knob, level 2 already. He loves getting his levels up, does the Commando Knob. He's already got crazy high damage, so any more damage is nice. Obviously the higher your damage in the first place, the more powerful a damage multiplier becomes, but also gets more energy for his infiltration and all of his sneaky abilities. Commando Knob can be honestly fantastic against Tyranids. Again, kind of struggles in tier 1. I mean, his initial gun's good, but he can get overwhelmed by melee quite easily. That's kind of the biggest weakness of the Commando Knob. But once he gets tier 2 and he starts getting that shotgun and kaboom and things like that, oh, he becomes a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. But can Tenso survive? A lot of pressure coming on so far, already down a good 80 plus VPs. Models getting bled by the Lictor, flesh hooking things in retreat, being a bit of a nuisance. Sluggers, of course, don't want to be taking on Warriors plus Hormagaunts. Even double Sluggers would struggle with that one. So just backing off. We've got some... yeah, could do with the Stormboys over here actually on the Warriors because they're heavy infantry. The power melee of the Stormboys would be quite nice. Just have one of these basic shooters capping instead. Which, by the way, if you think about it, is why the Hormagaunt spam's so effective, because then the Horms can come down here, they're faster than the shooters, and they can easily beat them 1v1. But yeah, Slugger's attempting this fight again, even with the shooter support. It's rough. The heavy infantry of the Warriors protecting them from that piercing DPS quite well. And yeah, they're going to retreat out here without losing a single model. Needs to turn the focus of the custom shooter on the Commando Knob to the Hormagaunts. Hormagaunts should just retreat. They're not going to be able to destroy this if the Commando Knob attacks them. Yeah, now they do. Riku should be meleeing the Hormagaunts on retreat as well. Sorry, not Riku, Tenso. He does quite a deceptively high amount of damage on retreat, does the Commando Knob. Like, his melee damage in general is pretty decent. Nice triple kill there from the Stormboys. Can turn around and fight the Termagants. I don't know if they've used their Toxin Sack. No, they haven't, clearly. But they don't have enough DPS to stop the Stormboys. Stormboys should have just committed. I guess he didn't know where the Lictor Alpha was. Well, he did, because he just seen him decap that, right? Strange. Heh, didn't get the kill with the Flesh Hook. I was going to say, cheeky Flesh Hook can kill. Flesh Hook, kill, and retreat, but didn't get the kill. Such a good ability, that Flesh Hook. Literally a game-defining ability for that hero. So, fully upgraded shooter boys here. Just getting the shooter knob on this squad. I'm not sure of the value of that on a map this big. It's kind of hard to blob up your forces that much, and isolated shooters will be caught out by melee very easily. Let's see if they can all wah here. They might be able to get some good damage on the warriors. Warriors were eating a lot of damage coming into melee here. Honestly, I feel like the Hormagaunts should just be ripping up these shooters. Oh, gets the backlash, but the sluggers are getting ripped to pieces. Needs to get an aim in what stat on these Hormagaunts. Okay, they retreat anyway. And now the Niz needs to get out. This is too much Daka. Nice flank there from the Commander Knob, contributing his DPS at a key time. And then the Stormboys arrive too. Yeah, he was missing one of his termagants there. Really needed that to focus down the sluggers sooner so his melee could get in on the shooters. I do think that the Hormagaunts should have just been ripping up the shooters that time and ignoring the sluggers. Catches the Lictor Alpha out with a little bit of pew-pew there before he infiltrates, but nothing too consequential. Now the shooter's just going to move on to the gens. Riku doesn't want to attempt to take this VP when the shooters are so close, I suppose. Maybe go for the natural wreck. Or just AFK like a bro. Riku's already tier 2, going to be going for the Tyrant Guard. It's not the best map for the Tyrant Guard though because of that large size. I suppose the good thing is that the distance between the base and the gen farm isn't huge, just all the sides of the map are a bit bigger. Shooters, yeah, really need to get out here. Kind of lucky. Well, not really. Look at all the damage the Stormboys did, man. Oh my god. Into another jump. Nice. Flesh Hook will definitely be able to kill one of these though. Ah, bloody Lictor. Just not getting a lot of work done this game. And infiltrated sluggers. We've got Rippers moving up as well now out of a capillary tower. Where's that tower? Oh, right at the base. But burner sluggers with Ide Boys straight onto the Termagants. That is not where the Termagants want to be. Nothing there to support them. Need to fall back to the Lictor. They do have another crippling poison, so that's nice. But the sluggers getting into retreat path of the Hormagaunts here. A little bit worrying for the Hormagaunts. I think they'll be okay. No knob on the sluggers yet. Yeah, they'll be just fine. What's going on over there? The Commander Knob capping up all of the west side of the map's pretty good for him, and the Rippers getting taken out by the sluggers as well. But the sluggers are, you know, they're getting pounded by those Termagants right now. Oh, that was an unlucky special. That would have been a killed model there if we didn't get the special. So shooters definitely need to be focusing on the Termagants, not firing at the Tyrant Guard. Then the Swarm now coming in for the Termagants, going to give them a bit better scaling. So they'll reinforce 2 for 1 and also get 10% bonus max HP. So a really good upgrade to help scale your Gaunts. You generally do want to get that quite early in tier 2. Obviously the earlier you get it the better, because you're getting that 2 for 1 reinforce earlier. Would like to see some upgrades on the Lictor now to help out when dealing with the Knobs, which we don't see yet. Tenso spending his resources on a Death Dread instead. But the Lictor can call in Venom Broods with his global. And interestingly, Riku is now committing to a ranged build here. Getting the Barb Strangler on the Warrior, perhaps knowing he can protect it with the Tyrant Guard. Another trick that you want to be doing as the Tyranids in this matchup is spawning Spore Mines and sending them with your Tyrant Guard. It will be quite effective against the Orc melee, because the Spore Mine explosion will basically do nothing against the Tyrant Guard, but will really hurt the high model squads of the Orcs. And here they go. We've got Slugger Knob and Stormboy Knob. Lots of knobs. 4 knobs on the field, not including the commando knob himself. We should probably get some upgrades as well. Tenso a little bit starved of resources now, spending it all on the knobs. But let's see, this should be a good engagement for him here. Stormboy's going in, the knobs there. We do see spore mines in the background, but they don't want to explode when they're nearby to their own units. That would be quite painful. So indeed, crippling poison, pull your units back, and then spore mine. Spore mine blows up the warriors. Not brilliantly executed, and the Death Dread and the Slugger knob is going to be able to deal with the Tyrant Guard quite easily. Where is the support? The Spore Mines do move down now, getting in a little bit of chip damage onto the Sluggers. There is a Venom Brood summoned as well via that global bar of the Lictor. And the Lictor the whole time just sidecapping. Both heroes naked in terms of war gears, relegated to sidecapping duties. How sad. But with the Stormboys forced off and the Venom Brood still very much present, Tenso has to back off his forces. You're probably going to see the ranged synapse here on the Venom Brood. Might as well. He's upgraded these termagants fully. Might as well make them a bit better with that synapse. He's obviously going to need that Venom Cannon for quite a while, at least until he kills the Death Dread. So he could keep them default so that he has the option to swap to the Death Spitters after he kills the Death Dread, but Orc vehicles are very good in this matchup and on this map as well because it's such a big map. And I mean, speaking of that, we've got another war truck coming as well for the Orcs. So I would just go for the ranged synapse. You know, you've already fully upgraded both those termagants. Let's make them more effective. Why not? But I really think the Hormagaunts right now should be doing the side capping, and the Lictor needs to get some upgrades and be present in these fights. He'll be able to contribute a lot to dealing with the Stormboys if he gets some upgrades. Get that Toxic Cyst and counter-initiate them, or get the Deadly Jump and leap onto the shooters and disrupt them. Either way would be quite nice. Zone for up now. I mean, we'll be able to help heal up the Tyrant Guard, that's for sure. We'll contribute some good damage to the shooter blobs as well. Could be a good purchase. Gives the Stormboys another target. The Stormboys are going to have a lot of targets right now. Ooh, look at this, we've got the special shooter on the commando knob, giving him that nice explosive round. What's it called? High powered shot? High explosive shells it's called. Big AoE damage spike. Death Dread should just get onto the warrior here. But AFKing at the moment. We do see the Electroshock Grubs has been upgraded. A lot of damage coming onto the Hormagaunts here from the Sluggers. And the Venom Brood is nowhere to be seen. Venom Brood is far on the east here when it's really needed right now to deal with this Death Dread. Tyrant Guard isolated. Where are the rest of the boys? Okay, the Slugger boys are over here. They need to get down here quick. Riku made a little bit of a mistake. Really should not be dueling a Death Dread in melee with the Tyrant Guard. That does not seem like a good idea. No AV though, so can't really kill this thing in shield wall. But Stormboys are causing a ruckus, man. Look at this. Nearly killing another Warrior Brood model. Still might. No, looks like they'll just get away. Okay, now Stormboys need to get out. They don't want to take on all this shit. Nice Bomber Boys. Bloody hell. Look at the spike damage on all of them. And I mean, they're getting the Tyrant Guard down. The Death Dread is puncturing through. Sluggers should probably get on the war truck and drive straight over here. No, they're not going to bother. They're just going to stay there. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, they'll chop these things to pieces. A bit of a desperate, focused warp blast there for a little bit of spike damage on the Death Dread, but who cares? It's in melee. It's chilling. We'll see the HP regen here from the Termagants. Tyrant Guard comes out of shield wall trying to make a runner, but it can't. Yeah, I mean, Venom Brood the whole time, just capping these 2 points, not really the best use of it. I mean, they do get a Gem Bash going as well, but obviously they were needed to deal with this Death Dread. And the Lictor again, the whole time side capping. I mean, Riku's kept good map control due to it, but it doesn't really feel that worth it. Now look at this, the Death Dread is able to move through and get a Gem Bash as well. Brutal stuff, really, really nice value here on the Death Dread. Electro Shock grubs are coming out, but the thing is, Tenso should just see, look, the Venom Brood just ran away. So he could have easily finished this bash. He obviously wasn't paying attention to where the Venom Brood was. I mean, I suppose he could be scared there was a second Venom Brood coming, but fuck it. If you're making the Tyranids by 2 Venom Broods, Tyrant Guard, and a Zone Throw up in tier 2, you're in a pretty good spot as the Orcs, especially if you're going tier 3. Victor probably quite chuffed for himself, he's got a kill. Killed one of those shooter boys, but here comes the Death Dread again. Where the hell are the Venom Brood? Okay, they're coming down now. Do we have the Electro Shock Grub? No, we don't. I felt like a bit of a miss micro. He's got full energy, surely he had it. Yeah, Somber's going to go in and disrupt. Getting very close to losing the Death Dread, not microing it. Oh god, so close. Wow, a lot of damage coming out here. Jeez. No backlash from the Warriors. This is a bad situation for the Storm Boys. They have to get out of there. Potentially Venom Brood could even force melee on them, get another few kills. The Venom Brood's getting very greedy, trying to chase the Death Dread into base. Very greedy. They get it! Wow. Base turrets on this map are absolutely shy, aren't they? Miles back. Damn. I like that though. I like base rip. I wish the damage resistance in your base was reduced. No kaboom yet. Can you believe that didn't kill any of those models? I wonder how much damage the Zone Throw was contributing to that fight over there. Really seemed pretty good. Another big spike of damage with the Bomber Boys. Probably should just force melee on these guys with the K-Knob. That shotgun of the K-Knob does actually do more damage the closer you are. Not only that, it will generally have more knockback the closer you are as well. Dark Riku has an absolutely insane amount of resources. Holy shit, he could get a Swarm Lord right now. What is he doing? He should definitely get a Swarm Lord. Get a Swarm Lord and buy a metric ton of Rippers. Because the only counter really to a Swarm Lord right now would be the... Well, I mean, you could get knobs, but Tenso unfortunately is miles off from being able to afford fully upgraded knobs, which you would definitely need versus a Swarm Lord. Otherwise, it's a tank, right? But there's already a Zone Throw up with the long-range spike damage from Focus Warp Blast. You've got Electro Shock Grubs, you've got the Venom Brood. That's a lot to deal with a tank when they're all buffed with a speed buff from the Swarm Lord as well. The Swarm Lord, of course, will be able to counter-initiate the Orc melee quite effectively as well. Now the Bomber Boys is interesting for the spike damage it does, but you can really negate a lot of that with the healing aura from the Zone Throw. Now Homegun's getting wrecked by the high explosive shells. A bit of a miss micro over here from the Venom Brood and the Terms. Didn't really micro them properly at all. Honestly, we need more Rippers here from Dark Riku. These shooters are being left to shoot far too much. The Ripper Swarm Lord combo is particularly fearsome because of the fact that the Rippers can reinforce off of the Swarm Lord for only one requisition. Also, plus speed on Rippers is kind of annoying. Really can't kite them effectively at all. At least the Commandos have pretty good melee DPS, so they'll be able to... Ooh, they're going for the Burner Bomb into Love Dodaka, but too low on HP. Just going to get the Burner Bomb out of there. But now we've got Endless Swarm Termagants reinforcing off of this Swarm Lord. And then they're healing as well on the field because of the Zone Throw. The Zone Throw, as it levels up, its healing aura will get better and better. So that's pretty spooky. Pretty spooky for that zone. I mean, what is Tenso going to do? He can get the rocket launcher in tier 3 for sure. That will help. It's quite expensive though. It's like 50 power. Man, and Riku's now getting a lictor as well. This is hard for Tenso to deal with. It just feels like Riku's really far ahead in tech here. She's pumping out tier 3 units. He's got a really nice composition from tier 2 as well. This combo here with the fully upgraded Termas with the zone now leveling up to heal them. It's very nice because you reinforce the lost models off the Swarm mod for cheap with Endless Swarm, but often, you know, when you're reinforcing lots of models, oh, beautiful Menacing Visage here as well. Look at that, instantly forces off Storm Boys on, I think it's a 90-second cooldown. We're going to get Flurry of Blades in retreat? No. Man, that was so telegraphed. That would have killed all the boys in the squad. I definitely think it would have been worth it. But yeah, when you're using reinforcement on the field, what often happens is you have a lack of healing, but then the zone threat counters that. So it's just a good comp. And then we got a Lictor over here with 50% extra capping speed as well. It's going to be a looted tank for Tenso. I mean, you can do it with a looted tank and then the rocket launcher on the K knob later. It's got potentially a rocket launcher on the Commando squad. Just keep the Venom Brood tied up in melee by your Storm Boys. You've got potential, but it's going to be really hard to execute. I mean, this build definitely favours the Tyranids. There's no doubt about it. Having a Lictor Alpha running around with Menacing Visage, technically that basically is an amazing counter to the Storm Boys. You just want to keep the Lictor Alpha near the Venom Brood at all times. As soon as the Storm Boys jump, you can force them to retreat with Menacing Visage. I mean, there's a reason that is a 50 power tier 3 war gear. It's kind of bonkers good. Especially in 1v1. The ability to just negate one of your key units in the opponent's composition is... yeah, that's a strong one, guys. That's a strong one. And then this fucker over here, he has infiltration that never drains. And he caps 50% faster, pain in the ass. But there you go, there's a pickup here. Stormboy Sluggers and the tank catch out the Lictor Alpha. Now we've got Warrior Brood running into melee. They throw off their 4-axe Swarm, but it doesn't really help because there's nothing to follow up. And now all these units here are very vulnerable. They're all going to have to retreat. We've now got an isolated Swarm Lord, which the looted tank can kite. Commandos are down here. They're capping. Do we have anything to help the looted tank? No, we don't. It's just a looted tank right now for AV against this Swarm Lord. Really need to get the rocket launcher up for the Commando Knob, but he can't. He's got no power. Man, poor Tenso. He's literally got no map control. His resources are horrendous right now. Lictor is going in here trying to fight the Sluggers. For some reason, Fleshhook's a boy and not the Knob. This Knob should be pretty low on HP. All of them getting drained by the Swarm Lord, letting the Swarm Lord heal a little bit. But the Swarm Lord can't counter the tank. Not as long as it keeps driving and hitting that red button. But just no resource income here for Tenso. Stoppers went really deep as well there. What were they doing back here? I'm not even sure. Scything Talons, Deadly Jump and Menacing Visage going to be jumping here onto the Commando Knob. Flesh hook him, get him off the cap. Just need to. Rocks, we got a Rocks, guys. And that's going to hit these warriors pretty hard. Whoa, Riku, just retreat. What are you doing? Jesus. Gonna have to retreat them anyway, right? Don't know what this Termagant squad's doing still in play, but... okay. Riku? Retreat the Termagant, man! I mean, I know it can reinforce off the Swarm Lord, but it's nowhere near right now. Venom Brood meeting the looted tank. That's a good situation for the tank. It just wanted to get off its burst shot to knock back the Termas there and delay the cap. This is getting very close on the VPs, guys. 60 VPs for Tenso to only 47 for Riku. The Swarm Lord going in once again, but just getting constantly shot by that damn tank. Of course, it's just ignoring it. Burner Bomb on the Termagants in the mid. They're going to take a lot of damage. The Slugger Boys are going to take over the cap. The Swarm Lord is on their back. Zone for up is contributing shots, but the Storm Boys are going to get onto him. What is happening down bot? We've got that annoying tier 3 Lictor capping the bot, but the Commando Knob is capping the top. And Commandos will manage to take the VP in the mid and get sliced to pieces by this Swarmlord. Looted tank still focus firing the Swarmlord. Now driving a little bit too close, showing his ass. Perhaps a advanced Orc technique to bait in the Tyranid threat. Slugger's down to just the knob here, repairing the damn tank. Never had the power to get the rocket launcher and the Commando Knob. If he had that, things would have been a lot easier for the Tenso. A little bit of miss macro here from Riku. Idling his Lictor should be killing these shooters. There's nothing they can do to prevent him. Can he leap? He can leap. He's going to leap onto them and that... Ooh, it's not going to stop the cap. Oh, no. Flurry of blades and a Tyranno formation in the retreat path. That's going to do... Oh, it kills the Commando Knob. Kills the Commando Knob. Slugger staying in play with just the knob. Need to move forward and get repairing. We're down to very little VPs right now. Swarmlord is getting very low though, and he doesn't have any energy for a life leech either. Must be careful with this Swarmlord. Tank firing at the warriors instead. Unlike the Carnifex, there's no backlash for the Swarmlord, because he is a Synapse creature. Oh, I think Tenso's lost. He can't get onto the VPs. Yeah. Damn, what a game. What a game. Got him down to 8 VPs there. Really nice tank play in the end. Nearly did get rid of the Swarmlord, but not quite enough. Just needed a bit more eco. Constantly didn't have these side points. It's tough against Nids, man. They're so fast. It's hard to keep the map control. And look at this menacing visage, forcing the Storm Boys to retreat as well. Very nice pickup from Dark Riku there in the late game. He got that straight away as soon as he got to tier 2. I must say, I think Riku was messing up a lot by having his Lictor off down the side and not in the main fights. That's okay at the start, but eventually you want Holmes doing that, I think, and having the Lictor in the main fights. With upgrades in tier 2, he can contribute a lot to those fights. But there you go. Good old Xenos scrap. Hope you did enjoy that one, folks. Torpid signing out.